1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 job offers.
Are you still there? To delete this message, press 7. To save in the archives, press 9. To hear more options, press 0. What are you talking about?
How's it going? My name is Andrew from Data Leap, and you are watching a place for academic students and professionals who are trying to become a data scientist, or perhaps break into tech, or just learn a little programming while you are stuck in quarantine. I thank you for that. I think you're going to love this video. In fact, I think you're going to want to stay to the very end, because our mystery fighter might just make an unexpected mystery appearance. And not only will you get to know who he is, but he has exciting industry-breaking insights about exactly how he was able to traverse this terrible economy and get an incredible amount of offers. But he is also willing to connect with you. And if you want to know how, keep on watching. Please go ahead and smash the ever heck out of the like button and hit that subscribe button so you keep up and stay up to date. But that little bell button would probably help too. So make sure you do all three. And did you do it yet? Let's get started. Today we're going to talk about a particular case where one man, one very legendary character, a hidden smash character, if you will, this person was able to get 7 different job offers in not even so many weeks. And he then put out all of his data, like a good data scientist can, into an article on the internet about how exactly he was able to. Now, let's look into some base stats for our fighter today. Our fighter has 3 years of industry experience. He is currently in the Bay Area, Silicon Valley, but he wants to be in New York next year. And he's measured himself every time he's been on a job hunt, and now the tally is up to 3. This time, in the worst global crisis of our lifetimes that we can measure, he had 74 applications, 30 phone screens, 24 take-homes, 15 on-sites, and 7 offers. If you're keeping track, that is slightly more than 10 applications per offer. How was he able to have such a high hit rate? Well, it's time for some stats. Our mystery fighter has 3 years of industry experience, which allowed him to pass out 74 applications to return 7 different offers. That is our first takeaway metric, applications per offer. An APO metric will be able to better help understand exactly what kind of strength he has in the market and how the market is faring right now. Of course, the market is bad. 3 years ago, when he had 0 years of experience, he had a whopping 62.5 applications per offer. That is based off of his own data, but that is a ton of applications to have to send out in order to return 1 single offer. Let's say you don't want 7 offers, if you can imagine that. You just want 1 single offer. Well, what do you need to get that? Well, let's take some of his data to account. Here is a graph as a function of number of offers to number of applications. Well, you can see here that we don't have any timestamps. Oops. So if you have 0 years of experience, and we're eyeballing here, that means that you have 62.5 applications you need to send out per offer. Let's see, if you wanted 2 offers, you would need 125 applications sent out. And in order for that first offer to come in, around 80% of the way to 125, which means 100 applications. Whew, wow. But not every application is treated differently, especially if you now have to drop 100 applications out the door. Of course, a lot of the ways that we've been taught to go through the correct door of getting a job is the front door. Go ahead to the recruiting page of a website. Go ahead onto LinkedIn or Glassdoor or AngelList and then just blindly drop your resume and hope for the best. This is not statistically in your favor because everyone's using the front door. Of course, there's a second door, which is called a referral. That is a preferred route because it allows you to escalate your resume to the top of the stack, but also gives you special bonuses that we can't even begin to understand how much it raises your chances of getting an offer. Actually, we can, thanks to this data from the article of this mystery fighter. But what is this in the middle? Cold emails. Code emails? No, cold emails. This is a reaching out to a hiring manager or someone on the team of this company and sending them something that gets them interested enough in your candidacy to start the process for you or with you, depending on how you're able to sell yourself. There are a couple ways to be able to play this, but as you can see, the interview rate is actually pretty darn high. We can see that from 1 year of experience, the method that we want to aim for is referrals, but barring that, you actually have a pretty good chance going through the cold email route. But what happens when we bump up our number of experience years to 3? Then we start seeing a plateau. We start seeing that the interview rate for direct resume drops actually is pretty darn comparable to the other channels. So here is what we have to take away. If you already have experience in the field, then dropping your resume is pretty darn close to reaching out. But we see here that cold emails has actually overtaken the referral route, which means now reaching out with a cold email actually might be your best bet. How do we start with the cold email route? A cold email could be something as simple as you just reaching out with a automated message of something that you think that you are familiar with this person or this product and you want to be able to say, hey, I would love to work with you. Now, a more advanced cold email method is something called the briefcase technique, where you are able to make a small presentation, a small deck about the pain point that a product is facing and this works best if you paint yourself as a dedicated core user. And you can see here that one of the biggest takeaways is your best bet, if you have 0 years of experience, is to craft these excellent cold emails. That's your best return on investment, which at this point is your time. We love pushing math to this extent, so we actually have some numbers based on our mystery fighter about his methods and the efficacy of each method, and then a pure math extrapolation of what if we only spent our time doing one of these methods 100% of our time. We see here that cold emails wins. There is a diminishing return, of course. When you have 3 years of experience or greater, you probably want to work less and less on cold emails, saving those for the companies that you really, truly love. This goes back to the idea that you only have the ability to accept one offer, so what's the point of having multiple offers? Well, statistics is on our side. Let's say that we have a chance of passing a single interview. Let's say that at this point, you are past every single checkbox so far, so the onsite is close to a formality, an 80% passing rate. If you had 5 onsites that you were able to pick from, the probability that you'll fail all 5 is only 7%. That means that you would have a 93% chance of getting one offer or greater. When you have an offer, suddenly you have the leverage to have the other dominoes start falling in place. And this means more to you and your career trajectory than you can imagine. So you're studying away, you're trying your best to grind and make yourself a better data scientist, cramming the knowledge into your head. That is fine, but the statistics don't lie. If the chance that you are going to pass that interview is at 80% and you can raise it even slightly higher to 90% or 95%, it's still advantageous for you to get more on-sites than to make yourself better at answering on-site questions. Take a look at our Mystery Fighters article for more math on why. So here are your main takeaways. 1, if you have the connection for a referral, always ask for it. This is something akin to you have nothing to lose in this connection. In fact, if you politely ask and make an earnest attempt at showing the connection you have with that company and the person that you are asking for a referral to, you could really skyrocket yourself no matter which part of your career you're on. Number 2, if you don't have a lot of relevant experience, always lean towards cold emails. We noticed that there was a significant increase in the probability that you would be able to get an offer with low amounts of experience through cold emails, but never put all your eggs in one basket. Try to have a mix, but lean closer to the cold email route. 3, if you're an H-1B or you have a limited amount of time in which you can use for the recruiting process, always lean towards methods that gets you more offers for the amount of time that you spent. And this is, rule of thumb, going to rely on direct referrals first, and then 80% cold emails, and then 20% resume drops. 4, everyone has a different situation, and this data is taken historically, which means the 62.5 applications per offer that we found earlier was during a time of a great economy. And this 10 applications per offer now was in a terrible economy. So everybody's situation is different. And remember to brand yourself. I have a lot of videos on my channel that talks about how you are able to talk about yourself. And on my second channel, the Data Leap Andrew Show. I think you should check it out. 5, think about a list of companies that you would love to work for. If you have no referral, still send a cold email. The results are better than just directly applying. 6, this part we didn't really talk about, but if a recruiter reaches out to you, you can check if their email comes from the company themselves or if they are legitimately someone who works for the company. That is already shortening the amount of time you need to spend getting that connection and getting in front of them in terms of an application cycle. So if they're legit, make sure that you count them seriously as part of the recruiting process. 7, the most important thing we can take away is that the best use of your time, if you want to increase the number of offers, is to focus on the number of on-sites you get versus trying to increase the probability that you pass an on-site. All right, that's it. I think we've covered everything, except, what is that? Sirens? Do I hear? We actually have Jeff Lee, the mystery fighter that wrote this article, that got the 7 offers, and he is here to talk to us live. And by live, I mean pre-recorded. Let's talk to him now. I hope you stay until the end of the interview. Peace. Jeff Lee, thank you so much for joining. It means a lot for you to be on the show. I've never heard of anybody with this caliber of job offers, especially in the global pandemic. So first of all, welcome.
Thanks so much for having me, Andrew. Glad to be on the show.
Let's reverse engineer your choice to work at your current company. What made you pick that job offer out of the 7?
Before I even really got all the job offers, I actually found it very important to really clarify what my career values are. And I think everybody kind of has a different set of career values on what they're indexing for. Some people could be indexing more for learning. Some could be indexing more for the company they're working at. Some could be indexing more for the work. So for me, my most important thing was a company mission and a product that I loved. That was the first one. I would say the second one was more just interesting work. So would I be working on problems that I was just intrinsically interested in? And the third one was more on just ensuring that I had really good support from both the management and the director side. So those were the kind of the top 3 things I was indexing for. But I would say that the things I was explicitly not indexing as much for was maybe like location, getting paid a ton. I had offers from, say, Spotify, Apple, Disney Plus, Bird, SoFi Finance, Delivery Hero, and Convoy. And wow. My top 3 were Spotify, Apple, and Disney Plus.
Okay.
Are you still there? To delete this message, press 7. To save it in the archives, press 9. To hear more options, press 0.
What are you talking about?